Hi, Anrich. Very well bowled. You took 5 wickets after lunch. You seem to bowl a bit fuller in that second session. But can you just tell us about the difficulties of bowling up front to Kusal Perera? Because it seemed like every time you tried to go a bit fuller to him, he would just lash it through the covers.
How's it? Yeah, he batted really well. Any sort of but he immediately went onto it and sort of hit every ball that he could for boundary. So he batted really well. Obviously, we would like to sort of improve to him. Maybe next innings do something different, or just maybe be a bit tighter. But yeah, very happy with the result at the end.
Anrich, and then Fidos.
Thank you. Congratulations, Anrich. Confident way for yourself and the Proteas to start the new year with this performance today?
Yeah, no, definitely. It was great to sort of kick the year off like we did. Obviously, after Centurion, especially the first innings, we wanted to improve as a bowling unit, and I think we did a good job today. We started off really nicely as well with Lunga, I think, bowling 2 or 3 maidens, if I'm correct. So that was nice to see and to have that and sort of to build the pressure like that. And then obviously it was just batting really well, and they sort of continuing their form. So hopefully tomorrow we just keep on with the momentum that we've got.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andre Fidos. And then Viduranga.
Hi, Anrich. Well bowled. It seemed as though things really changed when Wiaan Mulder came on and kind of, and I suppose he was bowling a slightly different length to you and also really keeping it tight. Can you just talk about that kind of partnership when you've got a Wiaan or Lutisi Pamela on the other end and how that maybe frees you up to try a few things?
Yeah, I think he bowled really well. At the end of the day, sort of try and hold the dots, and then something should happen or will happen. So credit to Wiaan, he bowled really well, especially at the start. And yeah, all credit must go to him. He got the wickets that he deserved for what he did.
Thank you, Viduranga.
Congratulations for your performance, Nortje. We saw South African bowlers little bit struggled when Kusal Janit batting, but after that, Wiaan Mulder took his wicket. You came back into the game. What was the plan of you and your bowling unit?
Yeah, it was just to be tight. We're trying to keep things as simple as possible, especially on a wicket like this where it's a little bit extra bounce at times. So we're just trying to keep things simple. We're not trying to do we're not trying to do a miracle when we go out and bowl. So he played well. He got some runs. It's definitely something we'll try and be a little bit tighter next innings. But I think at the end of the day, the guys stuck to what we wanted and want to bowl in the channel, bowl good lines. And yeah, at the end of the day, it worked out for us.
Thank you, Telford, and then Ken.
How's it, Andre? Well bowled. I just wonder, were you at all surprised at how the Sri Lankans played today, you know, considering how they got beaten last week at Centurion, or is it more about the pitch and the way that you guys bowled that forced them to play that way?
Yeah, I think we at Centurion we were maybe a little bit too wide at times, and then also maybe a little bit on both. We sort of bowled to both sides of the wicket. So coming into this game, we wanted to keep it tight. We wanted to keep things as simple as possible and just sort of get into the channel. And I think at the end of the day, that also created some opportunities, that created some dot balls which gave us the opportunities. Lungi started off nicely and I went for a little bit of runs, and then later on things were different. I was bowling, I got some dot balls and someone else got wickets. So that's sort of what you want, just having some bowling partnerships as well as always batting partnerships. But I think it's so important as a bowling unit to try and get as much dots as possible, and then they have to sort of look to score some runs. So I think we did bowl really well today, and hopefully we can just continue what we've been doing and not look to do too much.
Thank you.
Ken, and then last English question with Fidos, and then we will take Tianis and Afrikaans.
Anrich, back-to-back 5-wicket hauls here at the Wanderers. You must obviously enjoy bowling here. And then you just mentioned dot balls and the importance of those. when you guys were batting, Dean and Rassie absorbed a lot of dot balls. Could you just tell us about the mood and the change room at that time? And obviously, they seemed to do really well to come through that.
Yeah, to us, it's very important to bring that run rate down, to bowl the dot balls, and I think at the end of the day, if you look at stats, that generally creates wickets. And for us, batting-wise, we know we've got a lot of time. We're not in a rush, and I think the boys played that really well. They realised there's no need to try and sort of hit one or two that's outside off, or that's sort of closing your wrist to them. So I think they batted really well. They assessed that condition, the conditions and the situation very well. And sort of later on, when they got some straight balls or half volleys, then they scored again. So even now at the end, half volleys in the channel which they left, which was good. So we just want to bat time and just do our best, try and bat once, I suppose. If we can do that again, it would be unbelievable. So credit to them, they really batted well. I think Rassie was also only after 20 odd balls he got his first run. So they really batted well.
Firdous?
Anrich, we've seen a lot of bowlers getting injured, I guess mostly from the Sri Lankan side. But I mean, someone like you haven't played red ball cricket for a while, came off an IPL. Can you just talk a little bit about the conditioning that you've been through and kind of how you feel you can go about playing cricket in the pandemic situation we're in, keeping yourself fit for an entire summer?
Yeah, fortunately, I was fortunate enough to have some weights during lockdown. As I said previously, I was on the farm, so I got to move around a little bit and just sort of be as normal as possible, sort of from a physical point of view. So I think that helped quite a bit. And then obviously IPL still got to bowl a lot of overs, even if it was practices. So I didn't see too much sort of worry going into my first red ball game. Like I said, I've played a lot of red ball games in the past. So going from white ball to red ball isn't as big as a change from red ball to white ball, I feel. So it was just about sort of running into that channel, making things simple again and not worrying about too much, not focusing on too much. And then I think, yeah, I'm not sure how their prep has been and how their situation has been, so I can't really comment on their stuff.
Thanks very much. We'll go with tennis, which is the last question.
Sorry, did you say I must go?
Yes, please, tennis.
Cool. Anrich, net om terug te kom na Wiaan Mulder toe en sy rol in die span. Ek meen hy het nou in die laaste twee toetse baie goed gevaar en ook die vennootskappe verbreek. As 'n geheel vir die span, nie net vir die boulandval nie, hoeveel selfvertroue gee dit vir julle om so oud te hê wat jy weet hy maak jou volvleis langer en dan gee hy eintlik vir jou hierdie ongelooflike opsie om 'n vennootskap te kan breek en ook baie akkuraat te kan bowl.
Ja, kyk, hy is ongelooflik vir ons wat ons sport op die oomblik. Veral as jy 'n paar, hoe kan ek sê, vinnig of snel bowlers het om so oud te hê wat nog steeds goeie spoed bowel, maar met so beheer. Dit is iets wat mense nie veel kry nie. Ek het aan die begin van die series gepraat met Dwayne ook van wat 'n belangrike rol hy gespeel het in Engeland. Wat ek gevoel het waar ek meeste van my balls gekry het was toe ek en hy saam gebal het en dis nou op dieselfde geval met Wiaan ook. Wanneer hy opkom, is of hy vat balkies of iemand aan die ander kant van balkies. So ek dink dis 'n ongelooflike partnership wat ons het op die oomblik. As hy net kan ander doen wat hy doen, dit maak die lewe van almal rondom hom makliker. En ja, dit soos ek sê, om die dotballs te kry, help net soveel. En as jy na die statistieke kyk, ek dink hulle praat van nie by 20, 28 daarom dotballs, dan is nog vir die algemeen iets wat gebeur. So om dit te hê is great en hopelik kan ons net bou op dit van dit help ons so.
Dennis, can I ask you to ask that question in English as well, please?
Sorry?
Can I ask you to ask that same question in English?
To ask the same question in English?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, let me just try to think of English.
Sorry, I know I put you on the spot there.
I'm kidding. Okay, I'm better than this. Okay, Anrich, how much confidence does it give the entire team to have a guy like Wiaan who makes the batting lineup longer and stronger, and also can come in and break some partnerships and bowl with accuracy.
It helped us so much. Having a guy like that who can actually take wickets as well, not just bowl dot balls. It's so great to have, especially for us going forward. At the start of the series, I spoke to Dwayne about it, about bowling, the partnerships we had against England, which was really nice. And I felt like when we bowled together and sort of, especially from his side, there was a lot of pressure and things happen on my side. So it's sort of just, this is our Wiaan, the role that he's also taking, and he can bat as well, which really helps us. But I think it's so nice to have that, and then for him to take wickets as well. So he's not just holding up the end, he's actually adding a lot of value to us. So it's great to have that, and hopefully we can just build on it going forward, hold the pressure, hold the dot balls, and just hopefully that brings us a lot more wickets.